I am getting some really good mileage out of BlizzCon here for video topics and discussions. Having not spent any money watching the major presentations, it's all been great for me, but not so great for Blizzard, as our topic for today is kind of the fallout that happened at BlizzCon regarding Diablo Immortal. So, Blizzard has been teasing and tempting fans of Diablo with something brand new from the titular franchise, which at this point has certainly made a name for itself. I have spent easily several hundred hours playing Diablo 3. I'm sure most of you watching this have spent similar time. And we were all excited to get something new. A new gameplay mode for season play, a new expansion, or, fingers crossed, a Diablo 4. And Blizzard revealed a new game. It's going to be Diablo Immortal, and it is a mobile, free-to-play action RPG. And as you can probably tell by that announcement, it flew like a lead balloon tied down by concrete blocks. The announcement videos on Blizzard's YouTube page, I think, has probably like the record for most dislikes from a Blizzard announcement. The fan base at BlizzCon basically just collectively booed Blizzard on stage, and Blizzard is kind of in a very rare position, having utterly failed to read the room properly and even understand their own game development. And that's what I want to talk about today when it comes to game design, and kind of a look at Blizzard, or a brief talk about Blizzard themselves. So, Blizzard, as we know, has been a company that has grown on the success of its own branding and cross-promotional brand support. It's not just about you playing StarCraft or Hearthstone or World of Warcraft. It's about you being a Blizzard fan. And that means playing the different games, you're getting cross-game promotions. It's not just you playing StarCraft. You're going to get rewards for Heroes of the Storm, which if you play Heroes of the Storm, it means you're going to get stuff for Overwatch. And if you play Overwatch, you'll probably get stuff from Hearthstone and then to Diablo, and so on and so forth, in a way to build their fan base and build their community. And the Blizzard fandom is definitely one of the biggest ones out there. Who knows if we'll ever see like a Blizzard versus Nintendo fan-off there. But, as we've said many times before, fans are the double-edged sword when it comes to community engagement. You will live by your fan base, and as Blizzard learned over this past weekend, you can certainly be killed or at least yelled at very loudly by them. And understanding what your fan base wants and delivering it to them is a major part of that. And Blizzard has kind of did everything wrong in this approach when it came to Diablo Immortal. They've been teasing brand new Diablo announcements for months, according to fans, with this being their result. Diablo 3 has kind of fallen by the wayside, and there have even been discussions I've seen of people saying that they were trying to dial back the Diablo announcement, kind of understanding that maybe this will not go over so well at a hardcore PC fan convention. And as it turns out, it did not. And to throw added salt or added wood on the fire, it was announced that this game is not even being developed by Blizzard, but by a Chinese mobile company that is known for making a lot of free-to-play, those very basic games that I'm sure many people have seen, downloaded, and probably stopped playing. And not even the major game sites are sticking with Blizzard this time, with already first impressions from Polygon, IGN, and Kotaku saying that this is not the Diablo game that they wanted. And this takes us to a very interesting point about Blizzard, and we'll switch over to some game footage in the next few seconds about it. But Blizzard is a company essentially focusing entirely on one half of the game design spectrum. And while they are experts at it, they also are an example of a failure at game design. And we're going to talk about that next, but first, a quick word to our Patreon supporters. And now a quick shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/GWBycer. I shouldn't need to tell anyone what footage this game is from. If you somehow don't know, I'm really surprised you have found this channel in the first place. But nevertheless, Diablo 3 has had a very long, and it seems like it continues to get a long and polarizing history among Blizzard and the fandom. The original release of Diablo 3 was met with a lot of controversy surrounding changes designed to push the auction house development, making the game purposely frustrating, as well as design decisions that Blizzard outright lied about. Not to mention, of course, the fact that it required always online connection, even if you had no intention of playing it online. It wasn't until Diablo 3 patch 1.04 that things began to turn around, and then with the Reaper of Souls expansion. But even with that said, Diablo 3 does not have the same magic as Diablo 2 did. A lot of people have cited the fact that the game seems a little too simple as a major problem, and the focus on hardcore grinding without too much else in terms of design, but those are topics we could save for another video. But getting back to my little pre-Patreon speech stinger there, Blizzard is a company that focuses on half of really good game design. They are masters at iterating on design, but they are horrible when it comes to innovating or creating unique and original takes. As we've said before, Blizzard's branding has always been built on the quote-unquote Blizzard magic, that special sauce that they add to these designs to make their games uniquely and solely Blizzard. Again, we can play dozens of ARPGs or real-time strategy games or team-based shooters, but there's only one Diablo series, there's only one Overwatch and StarCraft, and you get the point. And what that means is that Blizzard's branding is Blizzard. And anything that does not involve Blizzard directly is not strong enough to stand on its own. With the announcement of Diablo Immortal, they have said that they are not working on this game. This is being handled, again, solely by that Chinese mobile developer. But therein lies the problem. What am I going to play in this game that's going to make me enjoy this as the same way as a Blizzard-owned property? Again, Blizzard's branding does not account for just the brand, just the property or the characters. We need Blizzard involved because they are the ones who make their games work. Just imagine for a second if we heard the following announcements: that StarCraft 3 is going to be developed by Sledgehammer Games, and Bungie is taking over Hearthstone's development. Oh, and Zynga is going to be working on Diablo 4. I'm sure everybody really enjoyed that, and I may have given a few hardcore Blizzard fans a heart attack by saying that, and I do apologize. But the point is, Blizzard's branding relies on Blizzard themselves to add in their own unique take on design. Blizzard has yet, in all the years I've been following them, to put out a wholly original game design concept. Like I said, they are masters at iterating, but not at innovating. We've yet to see the Blizzard equivalent of Breath of the Wild or Smash Brothers from Nintendo. And this is one of those interesting points, because Nintendo, like Valve, like Blizzard, they are major brands onto themselves. Like we said, there are dozens of platformers, but there's only one Mario. Just as there are many first-person shooters, but there's only one Half-Life. The company becomes as much a part of the brand as the game property themselves. And when that happens, these companies gain a lot of clout. When Nintendo announces a new game, everybody shuts up and listens to them. It doesn't matter what platform that game is on, it doesn't matter what that game is, hell, it doesn't even matter when that game comes out. People stop and they listen. Like, I will bet you any amount of money that the day Nintendo officially announces a new Metroid Prime game, everybody's going to be reporting it. You're going to probably see several dozen, if not 100 videos on YouTube of reactions to that trailer. But that's the point. when it comes to these mega companies and when they become a part of the brand, they need to be there because the games themselves aren't able to stand as part of the branding by themselves like that. I would say that if Blizzard announced that Diablo Immortal was a unique mobile game developed entirely in-house by Blizzard, that would go over at least a little bit well compared to announcing that they're essentially outsourcing their brand to another studio. And like I said, the fact that Blizzard thought this was a good idea or to go along with it is just shocking. Because as we've seen, even after the merger with Activision, Activision has not been foolish enough to try and divvy up the brands to multiple studios, as we saw with Call of Duty, having multiple studios work on the game with each yearly iteration. And to see this happen is just, like I said in the first part, such a misread by Blizzard that it really is shocking that they didn't think this was going to happen. But therein lies the point when it comes to gauging your fandom and more importantly understanding your own sense of brand. When your company becomes a part of your branding, then your company has to be involved in all aspects of it. It's as an interesting point is what we see with Clay Entertainment. Clay has put out multiple unique and original games, but they're all still part of the Clay banner. And that's what gets people excited. Again, companies like Blizzard, Valve, Nintendo, Clay, and several others, they can announce whatever the heck they want for their next game, and people are going to listen because the studio itself has built up a pedigree and has become a part of their own branding. And that is both the strongest and also the most riskiest form of brand engagement, as we saw at BlizzCon this past weekend. I don't know at this point, I'm recording this on Saturday right now, how Blizzard really is going to respond to this. I doubt they're going to cancel the game outright, but I think they're going to try to do as much damage control as possible. But for everyone else watching, this is a very good lesson not only in how not to handle a game announcement, but more importantly, what to understand when it comes to engaging your fans and figuring out what part of the branding do they most respond with. So, I'm sure I'm going to ask this question. We're going to get plenty of comments below, but for those of you watching, what do you think about this announcement? Are you all as excited as I am about getting a free-to-play Diablo game on mobile? Let me know in the comments below, but thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our Patreon link below if you want to get mentioned on our thank you page, and check back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Until next time, have a good night. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.